Hello and welcome to Raj Yoga Center's Wisdom Series. Today I have with me Brother Prakash. He has been practicing Raj Yoga meditation for 24 years now, and we will hear from him about his experiences and why meditation is important and how you can apply it in your day-to-day life. So welcome, Brother Prakash. And I want you to share some of your experiences maybe on the power of silence, because I feel like right now many, not just youth, but many people are going into the buts and the hows and the whys of many different situations. Many different things are happening around the world, but nobody's just talking about the power of silence. So in your experience, what has the power of silence brought to you, and how has it changed drastically maybe your life or your journey, your spiritual journey? How has it drastically changed through that?
Yeah, I think engaging in silence is good and important, and I do that often. And I'm sure the youth will also love doing it, or everybody else who wants to experience their own selves. Silence is very important, and I think silence is not just about keeping quiet at a physical level, and that's what they have to try and understand. Or silence is not trying to stop to think, stop thinking, and I'm silent. But that may be one level when you're talking. You're not speaking too much, but you listen more. That's one level of silence. At a mental level, silence is really, and which is what I practice, and I experience that many times. There are things that are to do with the past. Can I silence myself from, things that have gone and finished? So some lessons I might carry with me. Let's just take that lesson and that's it. But I put a full stop, and I'm here right now. I'm in this place, and so I'm silent from the noise of the past, or too anxious about what's going to happen tomorrow. What if this happens? So that's again over-analysis and overthinking. So I'm silencing myself from that. But again, being present over here by trusting, by knowing that if I want a certain future, I only have to focus on what I need to do right now. I can plan, but then this is where I should start executing and working on. And so when I start from that level of silence, I start enjoying it, and I start seeing how I have more access to myself, to being able to be more creative in that space of silence. Because if you ask anybody, when do they get the best ideas? And there's research that's been done. The best ideas that people get, is it at work? Is it when you're really busy? They say no. It's when we are most unexpected to get those ideas, when we are in most calm state, when we're not really thinking, that's when we get some of the best creative ideas. And so that's what we need to do to the mind as well. Can we keep it free? Disengaged from always wanting to think about what next, what this, how could I do this, or what should be done here. So can I just say, okay, just take some quiet time out now, where you're not thinking so much about all those aspects, but you're just keeping yourself in a space where you're feeling peaceful. But that's also a thought. You're having a peaceful thought about yourself. I'm peaceful, I'm loving, I'm pure. And so I'm in the present moment, I'm over here, I'm aware of everything around this place. So you're very much quiet from unnecessary stuff. And I think that's what the silence should be, quietening yourself from things which are not needed. So you're kind of removing all the burden from the mind at that time. All those burdens go away. That's when you have very less thoughts, very slow thoughts. And that's a space that will be most generative for us, whether it's to do with ideas, whether it's to take decisions, whether it's for us to feel good, whether it's for us to even interact with people. The more silent I am. So if I'm talking to you right now, my mind is really running with a lot of thoughts, I'm not really enjoying this experience. And so I think for us to experience life better, the silence is important, which shouldn't just be done at one time, but ongoing. As much as I can practice, it will help.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a great answer. So, silence is one thing, but how do you engage, your mind and train your mind to actually take those breaks periodically? Because those breaks are important. Let's say in a practical situation, like, if I'm a working professional, let's say, and I have tens of people standing in front of me waiting for an answer, I I can't always be, in that state of silence. There are 10 people standing in front of me yelling things, and I need to give an answer then and there. But how can they practically take out time and actually, like, what is the routine of a yogi, like of a Raj yogi? What is the routine? Basically, I'm asking you that, but in a more practical sense for a working professional.
Okay, so the routine where we are able to practice, and that's important for us to be able to. So there are 10 people in that room. When I say take a break in the mental space, what we continue to understand what's being put in front of us, and we're trying to give the answer to that. We're not giving a break in that sense, but we're only giving a break to the unnecessary, the thoughts which is what if, or thoughts about certain fearful thoughts, doubt about yourself. Will this be okay? Will I do well? All those thoughts. Those are certain thoughts which are not necessary at all. In fact, they derail the person's thinking process. And so for us, how do we practice that? And it's important. I think anything that we want to develop and become good at, we must practice it and repeat it. As much as we can repeat it, that to that extent, we actually start developing that skill. And so silence as well, like any muscle, we can develop that skill of being able to put a full stop to the unnecessary through the schedule that we have. So obviously, we wake up in the morning, the first thing we do is we just don't jump and rush into all our chores. Or, oh, it's getting late, I got to get to my office. So we get up a little earlier, and then we start with a very quiet mind. We absorb a lot of good vibrations. We connect with the Supreme. And so the mind is silent usually when you wake up in the morning. So you kind of sustain that silence for about 45 minutes to an hour, and we kind of get into that space. So we really deepen that silence. We really enjoy it, and we can experience the value of a lot of things that come out through that silence. And then through the day, every hour, we pause. We take pauses. They are strategic pauses. They are forced pauses. We have reminders with music, which then help us to just stop. And whatever we've been doing, we just take a break, and then we go back to I'm the being of peace, or I'm a being of happiness, power. And we experience those. And so that when we do on a daily basis, then it becomes a practice for us to see how we are getting into action, and we have a lot of thoughts that have been created, which is perfectly fine. And nevertheless, too much over a period of, through the whole day, we start with early morning, nothing at all. And then slowly I starting to do, okay, I got to do this. Now I start creating thoughts on that particular task. I have to do this. And so we slowly start adding. And all these thoughts are just, building one on top of the other. And in some fashion, they're still up there. We've not really taken them off. And so when you take these strategic breaks, then we are really clearing everything off and saying, okay, what next now? What am I doing right now? And what's the thought that I require for this? And then that's why we focus and we go in that direction. And so we do that regularly. Of course, before we go to bed as well, that's important. So we clear the mind completely, keep it very light before we go to bed. So those are some of the things that we do. We listen to a lot of spiritual knowledge through the day. And that also helps us. Of course, we do that in the morning, and through the day we review that.
Through the day, yeah. Okay, amazing. The young people are very ambitious about what they want to do next, Like there are certain people that you meet and they can't just sit still and be with themselves for some time, for a moment. They need to just keep doing things, like either they need to do some other job, or they move to the next one, or they do something on the side. Like they're constantly hustling. I would say the word is hustling. Like they keep hustling and their mind is constantly busy. What is your advice to those sort of individuals who are super ambitious and they do take a moment for themselves, but how can they connect with Raj Yoga meditation to actually experience, the true oneness with themselves? Like,
yeah. So ambition is good, and it's important for them to be ambitious.
That balance, like.
Yeah. So they need to have the ambition and the drive towards that particular space, which is important for them. They also need to experience a lot of stillness inside and stability. So yes, they can go about doing what they want to do, pushing themselves, racing in that particular space. But they always need some sort of an anchor. For whatever reason, if things don't go the way they are expecting it to go, what is it that they'll fall back upon? Are they strong enough? Have they prepared themselves for anything that is untoward, which will happen in the world 100%, if not now, later on. That's how life is. It's not a straight line, right? If it's a straight line, then we're all finished. It has to be this way. And then we are alive and we're kicking and we are in this world. We call it the VUCA world nowadays, very turbulent times. And that's how the world is, and that's perfectly fine. But am I prepared for it? Am I really able to know that when things are on the top, fantastic. But when things go down, am I having within myself enough of potential, enough of power? Potential is there, but enough of power that I've built up so that I can sustain myself. And I'm resilient enough to come back on top. So that's when they need to start saying that, okay, fine, what am I doing for that? How am I strengthening myself? Because we see them usually, there's a lot of mental issues, and then they go and start getting counseling, and they're meeting people, and that's what happens. I think that is more like something we do as a result of us not taking care of ourselves before.
Yeah.
So I think if they can preempt all these, and they start meditating, they start building that power and that beautiful cushion that can help them to be resilient. That's beautiful, because pressure will only go up. And that's okay if pressure goes up, responsibility is going up, so pressure goes up. And if your resilience is not going up, then you're going to be facing a lot of stress, a huge amount of anxiety. So resilience is what they need to build, and meditation helps you build that resilience with all the silence that you put inside, with connecting yourself to your real, strong, powerful, and higher potential, and connecting with the Supreme. That really support big time.
Lovely. I would like to close with, the 7 qualities of the being. They say is, it's the highest form that anyone can practice. Anyone, not just, people who have taken the course, but any one who wants to learn Raja Yoga meditation, or who wants to be a part of our center. Anyone who can just practice those 7 qualities, they all automatically feel really elevated.
Yeah.
So could you speak a bit more about maybe your experiences with those 7 qualities of the being?
Yeah, I think if you go and ask anybody this question in this world, what is it they really want from life? So they would say, I want a good career, I want this, I want that, I want to achieve this, I want to reach this place. And if you go questioning them, okay, but why do you really want that? Why do you want to get to that place? Why would you want to become so and so? It boils down to the 7 qualities that everybody wants to experience and express. And that will be peace, power, happiness, love, purity, knowledge, and bliss. These are the 7 qualities that everybody wants to experience at all points in time. And the beauty is that it's already there in us. We are those 7 qualities. Now, how do we experience this? If you just are able to understand that that again, we go into the whole course about the self as this being who is those qualities. We call that being as the soul, we call it the Ru, the Atma, whatever it is. But the moment I'm able to shift my identity from the physical stuff around my possessions and my positions and the places and people that I'm with, if I know that, okay, that's one dimension that I'm in, but there's another dimension of existence, which is the eternal existence that I'm actually with, which is I am the spiritual being who has this physical experience, rather than thinking I'm a physical being with a spiritual experience. So as a spiritual being, the moment I shift that identity, then I have full access to all these 7 qualities, and I can instantly experience all of those. And so it's quite simple, it's quite easy, but of course we've got to first understand the fact that I am a spiritual being, and therefore I can experience all these things. And we do that. Unfortunately, we are experiencing these as a condition. So if everything is sorted out in my life for now, I have these issues, so I have a lot of tension. The moment that finishes, I'm feeling so peaceful. There's an achievement I want to do. Once I achieve that place, oh, I feel so happy. So that experiences or those qualities are very much inside, but just that we've conditioned them. It's important for us to now say, okay, regardless of these, I am peace, I am power, I am happy, I am pure. And those are the things that we have to start understanding truly and experiencing them. And it usually would be at its highest quality when I shift this identity from just the physical, material, to spiritual. And so that's what we're learning through the whole practice of Raja Yoga meditation.
And I think being unconditional also, like you need to understand that these qualities are not conditional. They're actually present within us, but unconditional, in
They are
unconditional
unconditional.
form.
Yes, they are unconditional, and we've made those conditions. And it's quite interesting that when somebody is happy, we go up to them and say, "So why are you so happy today?"
Yeah.
So then we are also thinking that, oh, there must be a reason for me to be happy, or there must be a reason why I'm so peaceful. And so the way we interact with each other, we start conditioning them very, I would say, inadvertently, but then we don't even realize how and when we start conditioning all these things. Whereas I think when we were kids, we didn't have to do so much to feel happy. We just be happy, we just smile, we just be very naturally in all these spaces. Slowly, we've probably learned the wrong ways of how these qualities need to be experienced. And then we are more, no, we struggle. And only if I reach that, then I say,
Now I'm at peace, now I'm happy.
yeah, no, peace. In fact, now people are scared of being content. And they're saying if I'm content, then I can't do things, which is a very wrong way of thinking. We can be still ambitious, we can still be content, we can still experience those beautiful qualities whilst we can move and progress in life.
Nice, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. That is our time, and please join us at Raj Yoga Center. And Brother Prakash shared his experiences, and thank you so much. Please stay tuned. We will be continuing this series further. Thank you.